welcome to today's class. In today's class, we'll be learning how to create this very beautiful, creative, catchy, and interesting flyer design, Valentine's flyer design. My name is Rosemary Oka and I'm your tutor. So let's get started into this design. So first thing is to get our background ready. So before that, we'll be choosing the size for our design. So we'll be using the 128 by 1330. So this is our image size for this design. So the next thing is to get our background ready. Go to the background portal and click on colors. So we're using a gradient color for it. The color is already set, but I'll just show you how I got it. So this is the color sliders. Just click on any of them to input your colors and click on this pen icon to input the color code. So the first color is E50A0A and click on OK here. And go to the next slide. Repeat the process. The color code is 7E0307. So this is the color we'll be using, the color gradient. So I'm just going to play around with this. There are various color gradient designs out there, how you want your gradients to look like on your workspace. So we're using the first one here and just adjust the slides a bit and okay. So the next thing will be to play with the background effect. So we'll just go to this last icon here and click on noise. We want to add a little noise to this background here. So the alpha will be 30 and the enhance will be at 7. You can see that the background color is looking a lot better and more improved. Next thing is to import the elements we'll be using for this design. So I'm going to import the elements now, and you can see. So this is the element here. I'll drag it to ensure it's properly aligned and balanced with the background. Then I'll use the relative position to align it properly to the middle and ensure there's no space between. I just align it a bit, adjust it a bit. Great, that's just perfect. So we're going to lock this to ensure it doesn't interrupt our design. So the next thing is to import a rectangle shape. Just do this, a rectangle shape at the bottom of the design. So adjust this again and lock this so it doesn't interrupt our design. The next thing would create the rectangular shapes for this design. So just this is it. Then the radius to 10. Increase the radius to 10. Great. Then we're going to size it properly. So the relative size. So we're using 37 by 6. So we're just going to quickly go switch off the maintain ratio, else would not have the appropriate size. 37 by 6. Okay, let's just leave it at 7 then, if we can get 6. Then we adjust to the middle and move it forward, upwards in bits. Okay, so we're going to duplicate this by copying it. By duplicating 3 of this, 2 of it rather. This is where we'll make use of the grid 2, so we can properly align the 3 rectangle shapes. We'll just use the grid 2 and zoom into the design, into the workspace and the elements too, so we ensure we're getting the right alignment between 3 of them. This is a relative positioning to make sure all of them are at the center. Okay, this is well aligned. Just going to zoom out, then take off the grid tools. Then we're importing a circle shape. We're going to size this using our relative size. So we're using we just switch off the maintain ratio and use the width to be 9 and the height would be 8. Okay, so that's just perfect. That's just perfect. We're going to make copies of this. So this circle will be at the top, and we're going to copy this and make and adjust the size again. This other size would be at the bottom, so we're leaving it at 10 each. So this would be at the bottom and the other will be at the top. So we're quickly going to change the color of this last circle. We'll change the color to the color of the background. We're going to change the color to the color white. Sorry, we're using the color white. Then those at the top would take the color of the background. Let's take the color of the background. So we already have the background here. That's a color. So this too would have the color of the background. This and this last one, the color of the background too. So we're going to align them and make sure it is properly aligned to each other. So let's quickly do something so you would understand what I'm doing. Some people might get lost here, so I'll just delete this again, delete this so you can understand. So I'll just copy this and copy it again, because these are the circles at the bottom of it, so you wouldn't get confused. So I'll use my grid tool here again to properly align these circles and ensure they are well aligned. So we're using the first one as a case study. Let's see. Okay, now we have to align it to the middle of each of the rectangles to ensure there's proper alignment amongst them. Okay, this is just good. So we're going to copy just this first one, then reduce the size to 9:8 and change the color to the color of the background. This was what I did earlier, but some people might get confused, so I just have to do it again. So these circles are the circles at the top of this circle here. Okay, so we're just going to copy it again. I'm going to copy it and align it. We're still going to use the grid tool, but let me just quickly do this. Yeah, and zoom in to get the grid tool, and zoom in to get the proper alignment. So the circles are not looking so straight to me, I guess, because these ones are way into the rectangles. Okay, so we'll just adjust them out a bit to ensure there's unity amongst them. So okay, getting that now. Okay, so we're going to repeat the same for the rest of the circles. Just zoom in and bring this in here. So if we're using 7 by 7, it isn't really going to give us. Okay, let's just go back to the normal size that we worked with. So we're going to align each of them together. Let's just import the grid tool now. We're going to align them to ensure everything is balanced and well aligned. Okay, this is good. So we're making progress with this. Now the next thing is to import the logo that was used here. So I'll just simply import the logo that used. I think I passed it already. Okay, this is it. And just reduce the size. Let's reduce the size to 13. Okay, and shades at the middle. Okay. So would write a couple of texts. Let's start with present. So this is in capital. And reduce the size to 15. So the size to 15. And increase the space between it. Okay, 37 is just great. Then we're changing the font color to Stretch Pro. Stretch Pro, and we're going to increase the space again. Then we are adding shadow to this, a black shadow. Let's zoom in to see what we are working on. So I'm just going to play with this black shadow. You can see the shadow is moving. Just take it down. So when reduce, there's the blur radius. So we're just going to reduce it to 6. And this is, let's adjust it a bit. Let's reduce the blur radius. Let's reduce the opacity instead of the blur radius. Okay, to 76. And this is just good. Then we're going to align it to the center. So after this, we're just going to copy this, copy the presents and Valentine. Let's just write the Valentine design in capital, but we're going to remove the spacing that was used there. Just turn this off. Let me do that again. This is the spacing. Just go to this undo button here and click on it, and it's going to go back to the font. So we'll be using the size. Let's use 46 for this Valentine size. 46, then we're adjusting it upwards. The next thing is to copy again, and this time we'll be writing design in capital, design, and the size will be 81. It's quite huge because that's where our emphasis is on. Emphasis on design. So the first thing your eyes will go to when you see this flyer will be design, because that is the subject of this entire designing or flyer. Design, they were aligning it to the middle. So we'll be using the texture effect on this design to give it a different look, a gold shining texture feel. So quickly do that. And quickly search for the gold texture. Okay, this is it. So I'm just going to crop on it to get the gold feel. So this is it. You can adjust it here to just get more into it. So we're going to leave it at this. So design is coming to life gradually. The next thing we'll do is to import a rectangle. Import the rectangle. It's going to be right behind the design. And the color will be this. So this is the color. This is the color code here. This is the default red color on Pixellab. Then we're going to take it behind the design. Behind the design. So the rectangle is behind design. It's behind design. Go backwards a bit. I'll be adding the 20% discount, 20% off. So this is going to, the Stretch Pro stretches to letters that are together. So we're just going to use Montserrat for this, Montserrat bold. For this. So we'll use the line space here. So just take it here. And the size will go to 26. 26. So this is the line spacing here. So I'm just going to adjust it again, the size, to ensure it fits properly. Okay, so we're getting it, but let's change this red color. Just going to change this red color to the red color of the rectangle to something darker. Let's just change it to something darker. That would work. I think that's too dark. Okay, I think this can work. Yeah, this can work. So the next thing is to impute our first. Let's just copy this and first. So we're using the font Richella for this first font. Let's quickly search for that. Richella. It gives this beautiful feel. Yeah, Richella, this is it. And we're going to make it bold because it looks quite tiny. Okay, so I'm going to adjust this to the top here and increase the size to 81. 81. It already has a shadow feel, so we'll just align it to the middle here and adjust it upwards. So we already have all the design aligned properly to the middle. Everything is aligned properly except the shape icon. The shapes, the rectangle and the circle. So we're just going to mark each and every one of them and align properly. Okay, that's looking better. So I'll mark again to adjust it downwards because it's choking the other designs, the other elements rather. I'm just going to adjust this. Just going to adjust this downwards. Okay, that's great. So another thing I'll be doing is to move this upwards a bit. I'll move it upwards a bit and align it again. So this will give the design more room. And take everything upwards. So I'll just take this upwards, move this upwards. Then I'll just merge this, mark this all together. So I'm merging this, no, not this, this, and taking them upwards. Now the first, I'll just take it downwards a bit and space it. So I'll just space it out. 13 is just fine. Then I align it to the middle properly. Okay, so another thing we need to add to the background is a love design. So let's quickly add that. A love design that gives it this feeling of love. So we'll be using this. Just copy it. Now we're taking it to the back. So copy it again and use it here to the back too. So we just lock both of them so it doesn't interrupt our design. So our design is coming more to life. So the first looks cut. We're just going to adjust this. This is what you get when you're using fancy fonts. So we adjust it here, and that's just fine. So we're going to do some adjustments again. The logo would push it forward upwards a bit. Present. This will give our design room to breathe. So the Valentine design first, we're going to move it again. Moving it again. Okay, that's great. The design is going to have more space to breathe. So we're going to move the entire circle and rectangles upwards too, so we can have breathing space in our design. Okay, this is just good. Now we're going to work on the circles. They look not balanced. They're not looking balanced. So I'll quickly check this again. It's 10 by 10, which is 9 by 8. If we use 9 by 7, we're going to see. Okay, so we're going to leave the size as it is, or just play with it. Let's see what we can get off this. We're still going to get this oval shape, so we can use a 10. A 10, let's say 10, and a 9. It's going to be way too big, and the 7. So let's just leave it as it were, so we don't disrupt the design. But the circles are not looking properly balanced to me, but we can work with this. So I just want to get this perfected. Let's see this. I just did something. Okay, I think let's work with this instead. Let's see the size. 7 by 7. Let's do it 8 by 7. We're still going to get this. So let's just stick with the former. Let's just stick with the former. So the size of this is 7 by 7, and this is 9 by 8. So we'll stick with this, but this is looking more like an oval and egg shape. Okay, let's just go on. So the next thing for us to do is to the circles are not aligning properly, but we can work with that. So we're going to copy the Valentine's design, or any of the design, preferably any of the Stretch Pro fonts design, and we're going to turn off the shadow. So here will be flyer design. Stop this. Flyer design, and the size is 29. That's 28, 29. Okay, and we're lining it to the middle. So just keep it here. We're going to copy it again, and logo design next. Logo design. So we'll align it with the grade 2 to ensure proper alignment. So this, the last one will be flyer plus logo. All is in capital. So we're going to use the grid tool to ensure there's alignment between each of these. Okay, we'll be using the first. Let's do this. Okay, they're all aligned now. Zoom out. To ensure whenever you are trying to align, use the zoom tool. It's going to help you get appropriate alignment. So the next thing, we're just going to copy this. Okay, no, let's not copy this. Let's copy the design. Let's copy it because we need to use this texture effect. So we're going to put the price tags for each of this: the flyer design, logo design, and flyer plus logo. So let's put the first 3K here, and the size is 36. Okay, so I'm just going to take it to this, and we're going to copy this. Just move it. I'm going to copy this 7K. Still going to copy just 8K. So we're still going to align this to ensure our work is in order. That's the essence of alignment, so we don't just be working out of proportion. So this is the first as a sample. Okay, just this a bit, just this a bit, and we zoom out. So the design is getting into form as we move on. So the next thing for us to do is to put a notice here. So let's just copy this, and the notice will be all designs come with a free advert. All design comes with a free advert. So my keyboard has this already. So you can see the effect of the stretch pro because the font is a stretch pro. We're going to align this, change the color to white. So this is the white, and we're going to change the font from stretch pro to Montserrat bold. So this is Montserrat bold. So just going to align into the middle, and we're going to add some space to it. So 20 is just great. Then align to the middle. So we're getting there. So the next thing we're going to do is to impute a rectangle, a transparent rectangle that would, a transparent glow rectangle that would carry the date of this fist, design fist. So this is the rectangle. We're just going to add some features that will make it interesting. The opacity, we're going to reduce the opacity. We'll reduce the opacity to 40, or let's leave it at 45. Then the stroke, we'll add a stroke to it, and the color of the stroke will be white. Then we're going to add a blur radius to it. So the blur radius of 25. So let's increase the opacity to 60. Okay, to 60. Okay, the color is white. Okay, so we're just going to take this here, drop this here, adjust it by the side a bit. Okay, so we're going to write the the date of the design. Let's just copy this. Let's say the date is 15th of January till 31st of January. Let's use this. So we're going to just adjust this like this so you can see properly. Then we use the align tool using the center alignment. Let's do it properly like this. Okay, this is just great. So reduce the size. We'll reduce the size to 24. And this rectangle is not doing it for me. The rectangle that's carrying this. So let's use the size. Okay, let's change the size here. We use the size 16 by 17. Let's see how that works. Okay, I think this might work for us. Then let's see the opacity. Let's take the opacity to 75. Okay. $75. And this is the stroke. Okay. All right, this is a lot better. So the font we'll be using is Montserrat, not Stretch Pro, Montserrat Bold. So this is the font for it. We're just going to align this to the middle of the rectangle to give us just what we want. The size 26. Okay. So the design is coming more to life. We're just going to change the color to white and add some shadow to it to ensure we can see it. So the blur radius. Let's adjust it downwards a bit. Use the opacity. So you can see it. 15th January to 31st. So the design is coming more to life, becoming more interesting, like what we saw. So the last thing for us to do is to put a call to action, a contact detail. So just copy this and use a default red design here. So we use this, the background. We use the background design, the background color rather. So it will be call or WhatsApp us on. I'm just going to adjust this and impute the phone number. So copy the phone number. This is the phone number we'll be using. I'm going to increase the size to about 90. And remove the spacing and change color to black. So for this, we'll be using the Stretch Pro. Notice we use 3 fonts for this design. We use 3 designs, 3 fonts. So we're going to reduce this to about 80. Let's leave it at 60. Let's leave this at 60. And align to the middle. Then this two, click on it, align to the middle. So this is okay. Let's just adjust this a bit. Great. So this is a design. with what I showed you earlier. The three fonts that I used in the design were Stretch Pro, Richella, and Montserrat Bold. So this is the design. This is how I came up with the design, and this is how you can make a very simple, beautiful Valentine design. I hope you learned something from this. I'll see you in the next class.